Hey guys, what is going on? This is Zip of RageQuitTV. Gonna be casting a game between oGs.TheSTC spawning as the Red Terran and Last Shadow spawning as the Blue Zerg. This is on the Korean ladder, and Last Shadow, this kid is a guy that likes to play very high IPM, tries to do a lot of split pushes and just counterattacks. He really tries to be everywhere at once on the map, and the STC, well, this kid was one of the best Terrans back in the beta, but then he left for his military service, so he kind of disappeared from the scene, and he has since then finished his military service and is back better than ever. He, in IPL, he got 3rd place. He won his group over White Raw, MMA, and Idra, and then after the group stages, he beat Cats, Select, and Idra, and then lost to Stefano, taking 3rd place in IPL Season 3. That's not too bad. But then after that, he goes to MLG Orlando and beats Bomber. But then eventually loses to Huck and MC and gets 3rd place in MLG Orlando as well. So he gets a lot of 3rd places. He is a very good Terran. He has just recently come back, so I expect this guy to make a name for himself sometime soon. We do have him going for a 12 barracks, and Last Shadow is most likely going to be going for like a 14 or 15 hatch, because that is just what Zerg players do against Terran. The map is on Tal'Darim Altar, so there's no reason for Last Shadow to take a delayed natural. He's just going to go right up to that, build it at 15. It looks like he could do 16, but generally 15 is the most common. But as I say that, he does get a 16th drone and is going to be going to build that hatch, so he is going to do a 16 hatch, and maybe that's just because of the map. Tal'Darim Altar, he knows he doesn't really have to be worried about that much, so he gets 1 extra drone in, doesn't have to get the creep out and get a spine call up ASAP to deal with any type of 2-racks build, because the rush distance is just so far. To do a 2-racks on Tal'Darim Altar, you're really sacrificing quite a bit, and we have a little battle going down there, but the drone is not going to win it. But as I was saying, you gotta sacrifice so much, because if you scout your opponent last with the 2-racks, well, it's not going to do damage, and you just set yourself behind. So on Tal'Darim Altar, you don't really have to worry about that. And the Marine comes out and destroys that one drone. Holy cow. Another supply depot is coming up for the STC. He is going to be walling that off with supply depots. We'll drop the wall and put it back up. It is vulnerable to Baneling Bust early on, but not many Zerg players do Baneling Bust anymore. And it looks like the STC is going to go for a Marine tank and then expand. And he's got to move out before the 10-minute mark. It wouldn't surprise me on this map to move out at the 9-minute mark or just before that, because, again, it is pretty big. And as I do say that, why does he have to move out before 10? Because that's when the mutas come out. If the mutas come out before you move out, well, you're not going to be moved out of your base at all. And the Zerg's going to have complete map control for the next, 5 minutes of the game. Allow them to double expand if they wanted to, but easily just get at least 1 more base and go 3 base to just your 2 base, possibly the 4 base. So it's always a good idea to put pressure on before the 10-minute mark hits, or leave your base before 10-minute mark hits, just because of that muta threat. And we have the STC getting another supply depot, so that does complete this wall. He is going to be opening up with Hellions. He is going to get at least 4 Hellions. He could go up to 6, but I think he will just get 4. And that is just to get map control. The Terran player has all the map control they want until that mutas do come out. So getting these 4 Hellions, that's going to give him complete map control. He has a scout on, which is very good for being 5 minutes in the game. He has a complete scout on exactly what Last Shadow is doing. Sees that speed is not being researched, but now it just is. Will that SCV sneak back around and see it? But no. He does not. However, he could have clicked on this extractor, saw that Last Shadow hasn't mined 100 gas yet, and known, okay, you're not sneaking anything, you're just waiting to get that speed. 2 Hellions will be out. Last Shadow does have a spine caller already up. Gonna get another one, it looks like, and just has 1 queen, has another queen on the way to defend this, and of course, he has a queen back at his main that is coming to help out, and that will be able to, that will miss an inject. It looks like only 2 Hellions, but there go 2 more do join, and he has already started that tank production. So as I did say, just get 4 Hellions. This is enough to kill an unlimited amount of Zerglings for the 10-minute mark in the game. This is all the map control you need. Just sit right here. The creeps won't really spread too far. If he lifts up a spine caller, well, you can just go into his base. And you see, okay, he's getting 2 spine callers. That means my tanks are going to be somewhat good. And Last Shadow is getting a safety roach one, because he has no idea what the heck the STC is up to. And maybe he's just going to try to Roach Bust to kill these Hellions, but he may just begin this Roach one for safety to say, hey, if you move out with Marine Hellion or like Marine Tank, I am going to have Roaches, which deal okay with low number of tanks, and of course one Roach does kill like 3 or 4 Marines, so they're very cost effective against Marines and okay against a low number of tanks. If the tank count gets too high, well, Roaches are just horrible. Early game, Roaches are great for defense, and it looks like Last Shadow does know that. After he gets the Roach one done, he is still just droning up. Again, it's just his little safety net. We do have the STC moving out with quite a bit of units, and Last Shadow is not going to be seeing this. When will he switch over to his Roach count? He needed to have a Zergling here, but he did not have the map control, so he has no idea this is coming. But the Overlord's moving out, sees the Hellions are no longer there, and maybe, just maybe, he's thinking, okay, I got to build units now because the Hellions are doing something funky, and I don't trust that. The 8-minute mark has hit, and this push is coming out pretty early, actually. Well before Mutas could ever come out, and here we go. The 2 tanks are going to be sieging up, and Last Shadow still doesn't really have too much. He's got 3 Queens to his name and these 2 Spine Crawlers, so these tanks are going to do so much damage with the Marines. And now the Hellions trying to kill some drones, but the drones all retreat. I don't think he got a single kill there. And now it's just Queens and Spine Crawlers, but 9 Roaches on the way for Last Shadow. Looks like his Queens are going to be falling. I think they got a transfuse off on that Spine Crawler, but both of those Spine Crawlers fall down. Both 10 Roaches be enough to handle all this. The Roaches are going back, just trying to save them up. A few Roaches are down here to take out these Hellions. Jones pulled off the line so they can try to trap the Hellions, and it looks like they may get it. He's kind of splitting his Jones so they all don't take hits, and does a marvelous job not losing too many Jones, but looks like Last Shadow will be losing his natural. He has lost 11 Jones so far, which actually is not that bad for the situation he is in. The STC still has not expanded, so Last Shadow is in bad shape, but not that bad shape for losing his natural. He is going to be taking out all of those Marines. The Jones pulled off to help, and it looks like he will be able to hold this. Going over this unit counting station, you do have 41 Jones to the 26 SCVs. So the STC kind of did an all-in. He does a lot of damage, so he can keep on going. He has more and more units coming out. These Overlords in the danger zone will both be going down. That will not supply cap Last Shadow because he has lost so much. But again, it's just one base to one base. The STC now just getting his natural. But it's looking very, very grim for Last Shadow right now. He has his lair up. He is getting Roach speed, which will help him. He has an Overlord down here going to come in, kind of get a scout on this to see, hey, how far behind am I? The tank is out and gets some good hits on those Roaches, but again, low number of tanks. Roaches are okay against. And looks like he's just getting that Roach count high, just delaying as much as he can. And soon he is going to sprint forward again. The SCC is not really reinforcing this. We have a Nidus Worm on the way for Last Shadow, so he may just go for a base trade at this point and say, you know what, take this base, I'll go into your main. But no, it looks like he is just going to clean this up very easily. These Roaches being microed slightly, just try to avoid this tank fire. And he deals with that, and he is up by about 13 or 20 food. And the STC is forced to pull these units back while this Overlord, he was not going to check the natural out. He is to build a Nidus Worm. And the STC does not have vision of his entire base, so this is going to come out and could just win the game right here. The Roaches are pulling back. He is building more and more Roaches. Is not worried about this natural. And, well, he is committing to this attack, even getting some Lings. He does have Speedlings out. So Speedling Roach will do so well against this, I think, and now he is going to be going into his Nidus Worm that has studded completion, or studded building, and it will be complete. He will have a lot of units in the back of the STC's base. Going over this army count, you can see that Last Shadow has a much larger army, but again, the Roaches, they're kind of a, I guess, supply rock. They're not really that cost effective. They're just pretty good in low numbers. He has a lot of Roaches. These tanks siege up in the back. It's going to be a long time before the Roaches get there. SCVs are going down to these Roaches. And the STC has taken a lot of economic damage here, but Last Shadow only on one base right now. And it looks like he will be able to defend this. But how much damage has Last Shadow done? He has killed 21 SCVs. And now what is his plan? He's getting more Roaches out. These Roaches in the back, they should be going to attack. SCV's repairing that one tank, and the Roaches are going to come back. A lot of them are injured. This one tank may go down, but there's another tank back here getting repaired. He does pick that tank off. And now he has 3 roaches in the red, 1 actually in the yellow. Just going to be trying to be as annoying as possible back here. Marine's going to be taking out these roaches, and 1 roach is left, but he can easily deal with this small number of Marines. But this number will be able to take out the roach. Last Shadow is getting more roaches, going to be going out to poke this front door, but there is an SCV on this watchtower, so STC does know about it. And it looks like he is going to be able to defend this. Is his tank's going to get in position? This tank is really far behind, but he's just behind the supply wall, so if things get nasty, he can lift that up, and that tank will be safe. And that tank will be safe against lings, not roaches, but he's just worried about a swarm of lings coming in now because, again, he doesn't have that many units. And Last Shadow now going to be taking his natural again. He is still ahead in supply, but the STC does have a base on him. 15 harvesters, 17 harvesters actually, 237. He does have 2 mules. And Last Shadow is building another Nidus, but that does get taken down as he does push in here. And the STC did not pull that many units back to defend that. He does have 1 tank back, and Last Shadow is forced to pull back. And just going to try to pick off low numbers of Marines, do whatever damage he can. Just say, hey, you don't have enough forces to move out, so I'm going to get my natural up, and I have more workers than you, so I'm going to have a better econ than you very shortly. But the STC, I think, definitely does have the tech advantage. Do his Marines have stim? No, they don't. He does have a tech lab, but nothing researching on that. And it looks like Last Shadow is finally going to be taking out this 1 SCV, and that probably told the STC so much. If Last Shadow had killed that SCV with 1 or 2 roaches, I mean, maybe the STC would have pulled more units back to deal with that Nidus one. Maybe he knows exactly how many Marines it takes to kill a Nidus before it completes, and that's most likely the scenario, so STC too good to pull all his units back. But Last Shadow definitely putting up a fight. His natural has come up. He is getting a Baneling's Nest. He is at 43 drones to the 24 SCVs. Has a Spine up on this high ground, so he can do some damage. Does the STC have any starport? No, he does not. And looks like he wants to move out. He can always like siege up on this low ground area and deal a lot of damage, but then again, he doesn't have any medevacs to give him vision of the high ground, so that is not an option. And early on in the game, that is why this push came so early, because it was a Marine tank without medevacs. And here we go. STC is moving out. All the roaches and lings pull back. Going this production tab, you do see 14 lings and 2 roaches on the way with the burrow. Keep in mind, he does have a Baneling's Nest, so he can do some landmines if that burrow does complete. And he does not want to engage while the tanks are siege up, but he is going to anyways. Gonna go in and maybe be able to take out all these tanks. If he does, he will easily be able to hold this off. And no, he is pulling back. I think he could have just picked off the 2 tanks, and then just lings and spine clothes would have been fine. Of course, the Banelings would have helped too, because there is no stim. But he is just going to get more roaches. He does know he has the economic lead, so he does not want to throw the game away. Scan does go down to kill some of those creep tumors, and we have the STC just spreading out, setting up a contain on Last Shadow. These rocks are still up, and he has a Nidus Worm in the back of the STC's base, and it looks like he doesn't think he can hold this, so he is going to be going to do a counter attack. And the STC, is he going to pull back? These overlords look like they will be going down from Last Shadow. That will supply cap, and that is a bad time to be supply capped. But the Nidus Worm has just completed. He is going to be going in and deal a lot of damage to the STC. And it looks like the STC is going to accept the base trade. Keep in mind, the STC is 10. Last Shadow doesn't have any mutas, so he can always lift up if he has to. Lots of SCVs will be going down, and the SCC is committing to this. He is not pulling back at all. Going to be picking up this 1 hatch. Keep in mind, the Banelings, he does have burrow. Is he going to make some landmines? It looks like he will. Will the SCC be caught off guard by these burrowed Banelings? The supply depot wall does go down. Last Shadow has broken this contain, and now he's going to be attacking this 1 tank, but there's a lot of SCVs, but they're not enough to out-heal the damage from those roaches. He's a lot of Marines coming in. Keep in mind, the burrowed Banelings may be enough to defend this assault. The Marines are coming in, but they are spreading. Will he be able to get a good Baneling hit? Will the Marines clump up on that? It's getting so close, and no, it does not look like they clump up all those Banelings. A few Marines do go down. This Baneling doesn't explode, but he can get it. Now he does. A lot of those Marines are injured, but that did not do as much damage as Last Shadow would hope for. And, well, Last Shadow actually doesn't have enough minerals to build a hatch. And that is absolutely horrible. Trying to base trade a 10 player when you don't have enough minerals to build a hatchery is much like trying to drown Aquaman. It's just not gonna happen. And I think the STC will be taking this game, because even if Last Shadow kills all the units, he can just lift up and force a draw. So I don't see any scenario where Last Shadow can actually win the game. And he has enough buildings right now. If Last Shadow doesn't go soon, the STC will get a wall up. And Last Shadow won't have any hope because there's a barracks wall protecting tanks. It's not a good situation. And the STC just trying to kill all the Zerg buildings. There's this one extractor left. Last Shadow doesn't even have enough money to build an extractor. Maybe he did. No, there's the Nidus Worm. Forgot all about that. Here we go. Last Shadow is going to be coming in with the roaches. And now he just pulls back a little bit. He knows he has creep up there, so the command center can't mine just yet. But I don't know what he's waiting for. He sees all these barracks. He is going to burrow up to heal. The Marines are coming down. This could be a grave mistake. Roaches unburrow and just run away. And I don't know what Last Shadow's hoping. He needs to pull the drones. I mean, there's nothing he can do at this point. He's just looking around to see, hey, can I do absolutely anything? He may catch these Marines out of position, and, well, he can kill the tanks if he does this. But then again, he won't be able to kill any of the buildings that decide to lift up. We have the STC forming a wall off with barracks. The roaches are burrowing, just healing up, did some damage. Knows that the command center aren't landed, so he can't scan just yet, but now they will be landing, and that will stop a lot of this roach burrow play. Scan does go down, just making sure there's nothing burrowed, stopping the command center. Gonna be picking off this one creep tumor. Oh no, that's why, because the creep was not receding right there. So he does pick off that one tumor, and now he'll be able to land his command center very soon. The drones are coming in, the barracks lands, and the roach is trying to pick off the tanks, but you do have some force targeting from the STC, and he will be taking out all the roaches. And there goes the good game, well played by Last Shadow. Oh man, was that a good game? And well, I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Take care and peace out.